Okay, hello everyone. Okay, so guys, this is an important episode. Hopefully the music in the background's audible. You know what's funny? This is going to be my last talk in Toronto for a while. I said this morning's talk was going to be the last one, but I felt like some important ideas came. So, for this episode, all right, let me see. Okay, so the way this episode, I designed this episode a couple hours ago in my mind, and the idea behind it was that I think I've actually found a solution to the global financial crisis. Okay, now people are going to be like, Mr. Within, what do you mean? Right? And I'm going to explain. Okay, when somebody talks about and by the way, in the subtitle, I'm actually going to attempt to solve 3 global problems in this lecture. Not attempt, I have the solutions I've come up with. But I'm going to share 3 solutions to 3 global problems. And you know what? I was actually thinking I might start a YouTube channel, another one called, I don't know, Mr. Within's Global Solutions. I don't know, something. So, the main focus is here. I gotta bring the notepad, write the points down for the viewers to contemplate. Guys, this episode, I'm gonna make it worth your time. It's very new ideas here I'm sharing. 2 of them I've shared before, but this one is very new. So, let's see if there's any sort of viewership. Okay, there should be great signal here. Let me find another song. Let's go with the one I recently have become very fond of. Okay, there we go. Dear humanity, in the name of the most advanced, one of your playful, silly, and goofy champions of this earth has found a solution, and I bring it to you all. So, We're going to start off. I have found let me write it. Perfect. I don't know why I haven't been doing this in the notepad earlier, but here, this is the title, okay? So, there are 3 problems that Mr. Within, 3 global problems. For me, I think the party's at, like, solving global problems. That's where the party is at, like, for human beings. You know, it's like, what's cooler than that, you know? 3 global problems that Mr. Within has found a solutions for. So, to dive into it, I want to also enjoy this episode. It might be a while before I give another one. So, there is the global financial crisis, and I'll explain. There is a global energy crisis. And there is a global health crisis. Yeah, these are the 3. So how has Mr. Within, how have I, you know, I'm starting to feel like Batman, guys, you know? The Batman of the podcasting realm. Do you know that's who Mr. Within was? I'm Batman. No, I'm joking. I mean, honestly, I didn't even like Batman. I was more like a Spider-Man kid. But anyways, so how have I found solutions to these? Okay, so I gotta come and say here, actually, I could have done this. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so how have I found solutions to these? For one, I found the solution through a video game. This is gonna make people laugh, but you know, it's the honest truth. 2, the global energy crisis. It was from my childhood from grade 4 to 6, from 4 to 9, I was in Iran. And so I attended this school, the only English-speaking school, because I couldn't speak Farsi then. I'd lived in Canada, you know. It was called Tehran International School. Okay. So what am I saying? I found the solution in my childhood. Here, I'll write it that way. And guys, you know, out of all the Mr. Within lectures you could hear, you know, this is probably the one that you must. And help me actualize these. Just because I don't know 8 billion other people on this planet does not mean that we cannot work with each other and in some sense build the most advanced civilization known in history. You know, we have to start planting the seeds for such greatness. So I found the solution in my childhood, and also the solution to the global health crisis, I found it in my childhood. Plus, I developed an idea. I developed a strategy. Guys, I will tell you, I don't know who I am. Like there's so many ways, you know, I can choose to entertain different archetypes, but at core, I find, like, just, you know, experiencing my own karma throughout this life, I am a designer, a strategist at heart. These design and strategy are the most fascinating things to me. They're just honestly like one of the joys of this world for me. So, in the next hour or so, I will explain these, but I want to also experience poetic rhythms since. Alright, so what is the human story? Here, alright, but before. We're living at a time where human beings have access to realities that their ancestors could not imagine, but they have also challenges that their ancestors could not imagine, which means that we cannot rely on the past, only, as a method of approaching this reality. Some people will say, okay, so when we talk about the past, think of it this way, that the moment you entertain time, consciousness notices change, it starts to play a game with itself. And what is this game that consciousness is playing? It is a game fragmented in time. So what is going on is that a biological organism is born through other biological organisms. The first human beings are still a mystery. If human beings were designed, it can explain some things, but still. What it is that you log into your persona. Technically, consciousness, this is what's going on. They would say there are three states, the ancient yogis, ancient men, the ancient mankind, or the ancients. They would say that you're experiencing a conscious waking state, you experience a dream state, and you experience a deep sleep state. I found this very fascinating. They also say there's a state called Turiya, which is the fourth state that is aware of all three. I found this very fascinating. Why? Because to me, I realized that just like how you go create, let's say, an account on a website and then you log into that account, you sign up and then you log into that account. Similarly, I found that the human psychological experience is logging in, right? So when we wake up in the morning, you have logged into the conscious waking state. When you go to sleep, there is a deep sleep interval, and then you log into your dream state, if necessary. Or chemically, the brain's ready. Or chemically, the brain verifies. In the trenches of the inefficiency of civilizations, we must pay attention to our attention now, to the nature of it, to the nature of our mind, to the nature of how you're being. It can be noticed, it can be seen, but not with the biological eyes. Why? Because when you close your eyes, you can still see. This is the secret the cosmos has kept alive for you. That has the secret candle, consciousness has, the universe has kept lit. So what I'm trying to say really is to expand on to share with the viewers, to paint the context before I really dive into, these answers to these three global problems. And you know, I find this to be an important episode because none of us know how long we're here. How I'm trying to explain with the 3 states, conscious waking, deep sleep, dream, is to give a sense that we are beings that experience an interconnected relationship with reality, whether you like it or not. By just being an existential entity, you're a member of existence. By being a human being, you're the member of the human species. And perhaps no one in this lifetime has welcomed you to the great efforts ahead, but welcome to the greatness of your species. You're part of it. Everyone. Why else are we here? I'm trying to say that there are mysteries to our conscious experience of reality. You know, when I was younger, I felt I was a known object, and things were just known objective, and my mind was there to kind of notice what was already there. But my view has changed. My view changed beautifully. Something happened in this lifetime. I would say the most beautiful and profoundest experience I've had, one of the most beautiful and profoundest. It could be actually the top of the list. What it was that the moment in this lifetime, I realized I'm an unknown being. And the intensity it took to realize that I'm an unknown self in an unknown world was an intensity that had made my attachments meaningless. Because if you're an unknown being, what are you knowing? You see? If you're in an unknown world, what can you know? So I'm this human being in history. This is really who Mr. Within is, I guess. Not just the preacher of advanced civilizations. Not just the pilot of the advanced humanity. But behind everything that changes, we are also the space where we are being. We just can't appreciate it yet because the attention's zoomed in on the tip of the iceberg rather than the rest of what's going on unconsciously. It can be a bit scary. There's been times I've closed my eyes, and in my inner realms I travel as a geometrical shape into different parts of what I have access to in my mind. And there was a moment where I realized, like, let me tell you what it is. In the inner realms, one can have experiences. These experiences can dehumanize you. Many times before I see an experience that just by the nature of what the experience in the nature of the inner event is, I can notice before in my inner realms an experience dehumanizes me, I turn myself into a geometrical shape so it interacts with the geometrical shape. In the inner realm, the game is a bit different than the outer realms. Anyways, and what I mean by the inner realms and outer realms is the inner realms is the world in front of your eyes, the outer realms is the world behind it. And those who go towards mysticism, they will realize that the world behind their eyes is the presence of the real self. By presence doesn't mean a conditional entity necessarily. Because to be a creature in a world at all, to be an entity in a world at all, means that there's interaction in your karma. Okay? So if God was an entity, it would have to interact, therefore not being God, right? So God is not an entity. Man, the creation of the inconceivable, is an entity, is entitled to a certain format of experience. Anyways, this is just to open up the context. Now, I will walk towards the essence of this episode. How has Mr. Within found a solution to the global financial crisis? Okay. So, first of all, guys, when I say global financial crisis, I mean, keep in mind, I'm just, some guy living in Canada at the moment. Might be my last day here. I'll probably come back in 3 months and take everything back to Dubai, everything else. But anyways, when I say the financial global crisis, this is such a complex problem, and I'll share with you some of the reasons. I looked up, first it was Saint Google, now it has become Saint ChatGPT. Okay. So, I asked ChatGPT, why do global financial crises happen? Please explain. And so ChatGPT gave a bunch of reasons, and obviously it's such a complex issue, but the reason I was looking for the answers was to see, okay, from what context is the problem animating, okay, or how should we look at a situation, right? That's why we have minds, okay, first of all. We have minds to look at the same thing multiple ways. And you, from the beginning of your life, have been looking at yourself from multiple ways. Everybody does. It's just nature. The nature of a changing world. So here it says, I'll just read this quickly. Some of the problems: excessive borrowing, lending, house market speculation, complex financial instruments. Financial institutions become too big to fail. Even the financial institutions have egos, evidently. Global economic imbalances, of course. And the herd mentality, that when people get scared, they're like, what is the other guy doing? This is why this world, more than anything, requires critical thinking. But people are like, what does critical thinking mean? Critical thinking means you need to have the courage, the scholarly courage, to reinvent the wheel of the meaning to the world you have accepted. Certain philosophers spoke about philosopher kings and queens. They were speaking about the archetype that in the future, the beings that have the most awareness of reality end up just being pulled towards the important positions of reality. Okay? But I will tell you that the philosopher king has a different meaning for me, because royalty has a different meaning for me. Right? I don't know why. At first I thought it was because I was raised in Iran. Iran had a monarchy, of course, in 1979, a revolution. And the revolution was an ungratefulness for what was actually there. People didn't have social freedom. People didn't have political freedom, so they thought getting rid of the previous system was better. But in getting rid of their political freedom, they actually ended up losing their social freedom. But in the long term, little did the world know that the global technology would be adding impure dimensions. And so the way the world works is it's so fascinating, because it's kind of like you're like a nature photographer looking at the wild activity of a planet. Consciousness is the nature photographer, literally. So, this idea is deep. I am confident that there are incredible individuals who have understanding of how it is, but I'm someone who's bringing a solution from one corner of this gigantic problem, and my intent and hope is that I just saw a vision, like a fast forward preview in my mind, that this solution can work. So let me share something about my silliness. Sometimes I'm a person who I enjoy strategy games. Okay, whether it's chess, which every day it's one of my hobbies. I'm trying to learn 1% about chess every day. But and if there's anybody who's like a chess master, wants to come and enlighten me, and feel free. This is the solution I found. So something people don't know, there's this very popular game, okay, video game, multiplayer online game called League of Legends, okay? And in this game, it has an incredible, the game is smart, you know, it has a ranking system, and it's like I don't know, like countless players are playing it, and it has different servers in different countries. So I was playing in the North American server of this game, and I reached the rank of gold in this game. Okay, and you know, I sometimes just, you know, the game has a quality where it's kind of meditative. You just have to meditate on value acquisition in the whole game. Pretty much every decision you make has to be taking something forward. Okay, it has to be ahead of the other guy you're facing. So it's a very incredible, it's a very fun game. Okay, and it's a multiplayer online game, and multiple minds can play it at the same time. So that means it's not, you know, it's not like you're, you know, stuck in a machine, you know, that the machine doesn't have intelligence to do something new, you know what I mean? So in this game, the whole premise of the game, something that many of the players, you know, don't understand, you know, is that most of the players in this game are chasing kills. Like, they think it's fun to go and destroy the enemy, right? To go and chase an opponent and, like, you know, what do you call it? And now you know, to chase the opponent, and, you know, of course there's the allure in the game. There's an announcement. There are announcements in the game. So if you, and it's 5 versus 5 in this video game, okay? And so in this 5 versus 5 video game, if you get, what do you call it? If you get, if you kill, if let's say you're the only player left, or maybe whatever, if you kill all the 5, what do you call it? If you defeat all the 5 enemies on the other team, you actually kill their champions in the game. Each person has a customizable character, like not a customizable, like character that ends up having an inventory and buying items that give it stats and whatnot. So in this game, if you defeat 5 opponents, suddenly there's this announcement that says pentakill. Okay, that means you got 5 kills in a row. So in this game, my name, if anybody, you know, in the future, you know, sometimes I play it, not often, but my name is Kentapil. I changed the K and P, and I realized nobody had figured that out yet. So, you know, the name of my champ was Kentapil. But anyways, anyways, let me tell you how from this game I figured out the global financial crisis, you know. This is another advantage of, I guess, playing games. So I was saying that this whole game is about gold, okay? And it has two versions. One is called Aram and the other one's called Rift. And in the Aram version of this game, excuse me, irrelevant to the type of maps, okay? In this game, what is happening, I'm trying to explain to you how I found some sort of solution to the global financial crisis and all the financial problems that are going to come in the future, okay? And you're going to think like I'm super bold and egotistical, but I'm just sharing the vision. It's an idea, okay? I'm just sharing the idea. You know, think I have an ego, think I don't have any ego. The idea speaks for itself. One of my favorite chess players, you know, the Vegeta of chess, you know, Magnus Carlsen is the Goku of chess. There's a Vegeta to chess, you know, and this Vegeta to chess was asked, you know, it's like about his technique and theories in the game, and he said chess speaks for itself. And you believe it or not, a lot of our actions speak for themselves, you know. The design of the idea will speak for itself. This is why I really don't need to prove, you know, need to convince people, because it's like the geometry of the idea does it. So anyways, in this game, this is the genius. This is the genius. This is what my mind saw parallels to, okay? In this game, I want you to imagine millions of players in these 5v5 maps. Now, the creators of the game were so smart. Like, I don't know, sometimes I think it was like they got revelations or something to make this game, you know. It was revelatory, like the geometry and the design and the work that went to this. Or maybe it was just like, you know, gradual masterpiece, you know. But anyways, in this game, I want you to consider there's so many different human beings, and they understand the game differently. So this means that they have different abilities. I want you to, now I'm trying to connect the parallels, okay? I want you to also see that in real life, when it comes to the human capability to accumulate resources, or let's say the amount of money you generate, okay? The skill level, the problem solving of human beings are different capabilities. I'll give you an example. Imagine somebody is a chef. I mean, I'm trying to say that we human beings, if you look at this world, it's like we haven't all come here to do the same work, but we've designed the system to reward the same work. Okay, so I want to just share, this was the parallel I was trying to make, that in some sense, just like how there's a struggle in the rat race, in the outer realms, in this game, similarly, the game designers realize, okay, there's people who struggle. Some people may not have skill, so how the hell are you do you understand what I'm saying, guys? How the hell are you sorry guys, the smoke of my cigarette went in my eye. And I'm tearing up, you know, because I'm so emotional from the smoke going in my eye. And I'm just okay, I shouldn't lose focus. This is important. I'm almost getting, I'm drawing the connection. So this is the idea. Okay, I'll rephrase. Human beings, different abilities. You have a different, everybody has a different biological system, different cognitive system, okay, based on the experiences where you are, and it's kind of like Texas Hold'em. You know, we got to accept this. Okay, so many things we didn't have free will. We are responsible for what we have free will, correct? Right? Where our free will can act. A toddler can't be responsible for itself, you know? So nobody can go up to, for example, a toddler and be like, yo, you know, stand up, you know, stop crying, be a man, you know, and the toddler's like, wah, and it's like, be a man, you know, be an alpha male, and the toddler's like, wah. Oh man, I don't want to lose focus. Okay, hold on. In the name of the most advanced. What I'm trying to say is different skill levels in this video game. The game designers understood how the hell are these characters who can't kill. So that means, imagine like there's somebody who is a gold rank in the game, and you have somebody who is lesser ranks. So the game designers were like, okay, if the guys who are skilled are gonna get the kills, how are these guys who are not gonna get the kills? Every time you kill an opponent, you get like gold in the game. Okay, you have gold. Right now, this was the genius of the game designers, and I feel this same genius can actually solve the problem of the global financial crisis. Okay, so their genius was like, yo, how are these people, or how are these players who are not skilled gonna get money to buy items? Because if they can't buy items, they're just gonna get crushed by those people who got gold and have items, right? So the game developers did something so smart that from the moment the game starts, your gold is increasing. So imagine every person on Earth, every second there was a counter, there was a timer. In the game there's a timer, so it would mean that if your champ doesn't do anything in like 4 seconds, it's still like the gold, it has a gold counter, right? Timer, sorry, not timer, like a number. And so the gold number is increasing. So so for example, you start off, let's say with, I don't remember exactly, like 1,400 gold or something, okay? And then at the moment the game starts, actually, that number starts one by one, as if the digit starts increasing. So every second it's like you're getting $1, $10, sorry, it jumps. It's like $10, $2. Do you see what I'm saying? So I thought that human beings might not have, like, there's 8 billion of us here. Not everybody here has a capacity to, in some sense, go and generate. Do you understand? And the government's gonna be like, yo, stop asking me. Do you know? So I thought, if somehow all money was completely went and became digital, and every person who was born in the Universal Declaration of Rights, this might sound bizarre, guys, I don't know, I'm just developing the idea, like shaping more of it here now. But the idea is that every second, imagine your bank account, which is a digital system, you're actually getting money, right? There was this incredible Facebook meme. And in this Facebook meme, it showed planet Earth in space, and above it, somebody had written trillions of dollars in debt. A rock in the middle of nowhere, the entities on a rock in the middle of nowhere are $1 trillion in debt. This doesn't mean debt is like money is an illusion. Money is an advanced technology. I shouldn't say advanced, but at the time, before money, people were like, yo man, you know, I got a sheep, you know, you got a rake, you know, you got like 20 rakes, you know, let's change, you know, let's barter. Right? So now this is Mr. Within. This is how I'm seeing the solution to the global financial crisis. If every person, the moment they were born, had an account, and if every day or every second this account was generating $1, every second was generating $1, it would mean, if you, let's say you're someone and you can't do anything, if you do nothing, you're still getting something. Do you understand? Now, of course, I don't want to get into Marxism and class distinctions and all of this, but you know, we used to be savage beasts, and savage beasts defend what is familiar to them, and they fight what is unfamiliar to them. So I was like, yo, if the issue is that this is the not the issue, but this is the most incredible solution, because the richest people, the most richest people on the planet, will still be able to generate money, right? It's the same game. Just like how Einstein was like, yo, you're in the train, you know, and the experience of the train is moving, but for you you experience it still, right? So it's as if you're standing still, but the train is moving, right? So that's what I'm saying needs to happen to the financial system, right? Because human beings, more important than money, if you're worthy of money and all of this, is that it's a travel agency. This planet is a tourist agency. That's how it should be administered. We are travelers. We are journeyers here. So the point is not like, yo, you know, this guy deserved this. The point is, how can the administrators of planet Earth, or those who the people have selected to be in charge, you don't understand the power you have. You see, the biggest problem with powerful people is they don't understand their power. That's it. Because if they understood it, they could be also rich and powerful, but saintly. A lot of this planet's issues are design issues. You can love it as much as you want. You can hate it as much as you want. You can blame people, but it's a design issue. It needs new blueprints. So for me, do you know, it's like many moments in my life, do you know, when asked, I gave. And let me tell you why. I had an experience. Oh my God, such a karmic retribution, would you say? I went to India in 2016. I have to share this with the viewers. I went to Rishikesh, India in 2016. And I went to walk in the streets of Rishikesh. I was in Niketan Ashram. It had terrible management, but lovely beings were there in the ashram. It had demonic management. That was the fucked up thing. You know, the people who were managing the ashram in the office were very demonic, but the people who were actually in the ashram were very saintly. You know, I don't know, maybe some sort of karma to the land there. But anyways, so what happens is, I remember this, guys. Like, I'll tell you. I go into this store and I'm buying something, and this kid my age, similar to my age, comes up to me and says, can you buy me, what do you call it? Can you buy me this milk powder? And I don't know, at the time I had frustrations, I got into an argument. I don't know what was, I wasn't having a good day. No, I wasn't having a good day. I wasn't in the best mood. Okay? And so this kid comes, and I'm in the middle of finishing like a transaction, and then he comes and suddenly interrupts and says, can you buy me this? Right? The store owner puts his hand and tells me like don't, right? And at the time I say no, man, I can't. And the guy kept asking, and I said no. Like, it became one of those kind of moments where I was like, no, and so the guy was there, and then he smiled and he left. And right when I stepped out of store, a mosquito came to my lip, and I had this sort of freaking allergic reaction or something, but I noticed the karma right away. And I realized that was a sign. I failed the test. I failed that moment's test. Most likely, beyond this life, I will see it. See what was going on there. Just like Socrates, when asked, of course, I'm not a Socratic. I don't have all those views. But Socrates, he had a, may the universe bless people. May the world bless itself, for it deserves that blessing. I pretty much realized, right, in that moment, I realized that it's not just people asking. Sometimes there is a help whenever you can. Love whenever you can, because you don't know who needs it. I'm not saying be stupid, but I'm saying sometimes when out of nowhere the world, stuff in the outer realms interacts, I perceive it as, important. So I'm gonna go back to it, guys. So much to say, and I'm travel bound too. Ooh, in the name of the most advanced. So, the solution to the global financial crisis, thanks to this game, League of Legends, I realized if every human being, let's say was given, from the moment they were born, a bank account, and every second, how money has a sort of abstract position in our minds, of course it has a real position too, but I'm saying its value is abstract, and so that the value of money is abstract, but it's an abstract value that we take seriously, so it's real. Do you see what I'm saying? So I was like, if every second, a person was like getting $1 or like, something, maybe cents at this point, and then in the future it becomes more. This way, even if you are incapable, doesn't mean you cannot interact with your civilization. An advanced civilization cares for you. It will. This is what we have not experienced. We've experienced, they say the Buddha experiences the individual hell, experiences the individual heaven, becomes a Buddha, and then in the moment it experiences the individual heaven, that's when you notice the collective hell, and that's when you become a bodhisattva. And then the bodhisattva, that's not when you become a bodhisattva. You notice the individual hell when you notice the you notice the collective hell after Buddhahood, and then you notice the collective heaven. In this era, I am terming it the advanced civilization, the paradise that God's greatest creation built on earth. For the greatness is within us. How else are we creating all this stuff? The power is here. We just require decency to function it. So that way, I don't know why, economic experts, please take this idea, this idea that I give you from my heart, and do something with it. I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna help many lives, and rich people can still be rich. It doesn't change that. Do you see? That means the generating power of like Elon Musk and all of those guys, they're still the same thing. You're just getting $1 every second. That's it. $1 a second model. Do you know? And this is what I'm suggesting. And that's the first solution. Now, when it comes to the second two solutions, oh my God, you're gonna laugh. In my childhood, when I attended Tehran International School, my father had a business failure in Canada, and we couldn't continue living in Canada, and so my family had to go back to Iran. And so at the time, my father was such a blessing. Anyways, at the time, me and my twin brother were upset at my parents. I was like, I didn't say this, but years later, I was like, I told them, I was like, were you guys playing basketball, like how the ball bounces from two different elevations? I was like, yo, Iran, Canada, something like that. And so, I witnessed my father, when I was very young, experience a financial defeat. And we had to come back to Iran. And when we came back to Iran, my father had two twins, two kids that, were from grade 1 to 3. Just from the beginning of the development of my mind as a child, it was what's the name? I was in Vancouver for 2 years, and then 1 year we go to Toronto. And then the defeat. Or no, sorry, what am I saying? Anyways. So we go back, and me and my brother, we have to attend this school, and the school was filled with frustrated kids who their parents had tried to immigrate to other countries but had to come back to Iran. And so it was an angry school, and it was like Fight Club, believe it or not. But because I had a twin brother, it's like my whole life was like Fight Club from the beginning. But I'll tell you this. This school had so many stairs, and in order to get to the yard, we had to literally go down so many stairs, and all the kids would play soccer, in the recess, and at the end of playing soccer, you just have to climb all these stairs, go to the class, and then the teacher was going to explain, like, to all these tired kids who just put their heart and soul in playing soccer and scoring goals, in the playground, and they come to the classroom tired, and the teacher's like, open your books, and all the kids are like, God. And the stairs, it was so many, it was like 4 levels of stairs. Every time there was a break, for recess, you'd have to go climb these stairs, up and down and up, down and up. That's how it was. Because the school, the soccer fields of the school were underground, not underground, but they were lower level than where the street was. So anyways, in this school, I really went on a lot of stairs, but I realized something. This was, I think, 2 years ago. I came up with these 2 solutions for the global energy crisis and the global health crisis. I remember saying it to my father, and he was like so impressed, So, and guys, I'm not saying like these are the best that my mind can envision now. I'm sharing. So, to build up the parallels to the energy crisis and also to the health crisis, okay? So, I got a vision that my school, that school, Tehran International School, if the stairs of all buildings in the world, I think this can solve the energy crisis. If you step on the stair, and the stair isn't just a solid staircase, the staircase, it's a force. All these human beings walking are actually generating energy, right? They're generating pressure. If I remember correctly, in physics, they say there's a stress on a singular point. Okay. So, for example, when you punch a wall, there's a stress, and then it breaks your hand. Rather than suddenly with the wall getting like broken and you feeling like Hulk. In the name of the most advanced. So this is the solution to the global energy crisis. It acts as also a partial solution to the global health crisis. In Canada, the schools are freaking hallways. That's it. They're just straight hallways, right? If schools I'm not all schools, I'm saying, but if all schools, especially for young children, have stairs, and these stairs can generate power, just like how a dam generates power. Do you know what I'm saying? So if every staircase you stepped on, the staircase went down a little bit slowly, and it was generating power, generating energy there, okay, some sort of power there. So it would mean all the staircases that people can climb can generate the electric energy required to maintain that building. Do you understand? So this was my solution to the global energy crisis for now. I mean, I'm going to try to think more, envision more. But for now, this is the thing. We need staircases, that these staircases allow these staircases are the solution, right? It's a solution to the energy crisis. Now, how is it a solution to the health crisis? You might not believe it, but that's a reason why I think I don't have, in the gym terminology, chicken legs, Okay, I think that's a solution to health. Right? That the obstacle course is just in the design of the school simultaneously generating energy. So that's the solution to the global energy crisis, staircases that actually generate the power. And it's going to feel so cool and relaxing. It's going to feel like a school of wizardry, right? Instead of the staircase being like these, in the fantasy fiction, it's kind of like, just these stones hovering based on magical power, and you just step on these stones, right? Or like imagine some beings, like this is a type of power, fictional power. I write science fiction, so I pay attention to these things. It's like literally the coolest staircase. It's gonna be good for our joints also, and I think it's a genius solution. So anyways, now the global health crisis, this can help the global health crisis, but Mr.Within solution, this one I've spoken about in other lectures. I think the staircase thing too, I've also shared before. The financial crisis one is very new in this one, the solution to that. So the global health crisis, at the moment, you don't know, I was alone, and I write notes everywhere in my home. Like I have pieces of paper everywhere, I write notes. You don't know, I even have developed an ability to write in the dark, because before I sleep, so many ideas would come to my mind. I would be like, come on, man, I keep turning off the light, go in the bed, and this idea comes, I gotta go turn on the light again and write it down. And then I go sleep again, right? Then another unique idea comes, and then I gotta go turn on the light. Eventually, I was like, okay, I gotta just learn to write in the dark. And the way you actually can write in the dark is you have to have a focus point, concentration of the tip of the pen moving on the the piece of paper. You shouldn't be focusing on your hand or how you're holding the pen. Just how you can know exactly the letters being drawn on the piece of paper and the size and the shape and where they are if you have an incredible awareness of the tip of the pen. But anyways, back to the global health crisis, right? So this was my solution, right? And it's Mr. Within's solution also to the dehumanization problems in the future. I was like, yo man, if we become, it's like, is there going to be a chance we're going to be robots in the future? And so this is the solution that Mr. Within, my attention in this consciousness and the archetype I entertain. So this was the solution. I was like, okay, the educational system needs to have a reform, and its reform, all of knowledge needs to have a reform. You know, I don't have the notoriety in academia to actually go and have an influence there. Maybe those who actually have capable of influence can go there, and when they hear this and do something about what this idea I'm passing down. This is it. The idea was that I was like, no, all human knowledge is wrong, right? And let me tell you why it was wrong. It's not wrong. The way it's being taught is wrong. So the most important knowledge on this earth, and especially as someone who was a smoker, is health knowledge. It's health enlightenment. And I was like, yo, children can have the capacity to, like 6-year-old children are playing like Mozart symphonies, Bach symphonies on pianos, right? This means children have an incredible ability to absorb reality, right? To engage with reality. So I thought, what if children had to just learn the biological body? Okay, I imagine by the age of middle school, children have medical knowledge equivalent to like an advanced person, a med school person. Okay, like a doctor level of knowledge by middle school. Do you know how incredible the rest of their life would be? How many smart decisions, healthy decisions they will make, right? If they had that knowledge. So imagine by middle school. And so this is the geometry, right? So I was like, all human knowledge is abstract symbolism trying to relate to a direct experiential event. Therefore, since it's abstract, the shape of knowledge, how it's being taught to people, can be modified. So I thought, if we connect, we need next level minds, okay? Next level designers, incredible academic individuals. This is your purpose now. I'm telling you, this is the next game. You know, next great game to play. All human knowledge has to be connected to all biological knowledge. That's it. That's the solution to that global health crisis. Okay? This means if you learn biology, all the geometry, all the cells, even the 5 fingers you have in your hand, like in each hand, all your human biology is the perfect alphabet for all other concepts of knowledge. So if children, if that would mean in the future, if you were an alien, all you had to learn on this planet was how the human biology works, and the genius of philosophers and academic individuals would have connected, bridged all concepts in academia, all the other branches of knowledge, to the trunk, which is the knowledge of biology. And this is my solution. This is my solution to the global health crisis. Another solution, I talked about it, where I was saying like fast food stores are going to become like health centers in the future and apologize with incredible like customer service etiquette. Sorry for all these years making your children and grandchildren unhealthy. We have the financial capability to make money and make you healthy. Do you understand? Right now, I'm in 2023. Whoever you are in the future, you will listen to this. Most likely, I don't know why I feel like in the next 100 years, you're going to smoke a cigarette that's going to heal you. The opposite of what it's doing now. You're going to get the same sensations, but it's going to heal you completely. It's going to become like next. Do you understand? All the stuff that is destroying us, the only thing left to do is to make it heal us. So the solution. So the solution I'm sharing here is all human knowledge, all the branches of knowledge have to be connected to all knowledge of biology. Mr. Within and the advanced humanity and the advanced civilizations and just the future generations deserve our greatest efforts. I mean, like, why not? Why shouldn't they deserve it? You know? So that's the solution. If by middle school children learn everything in advanced biological medical knowledge, and if all the philosophers have connected and academic individuals have connected, intellectuals have connected all the different fields, right, and to the symbolism or to the geometry of the biological body, if you learn the human body biology, you can learn everything else then. It would be genius. It would be genius. Why? Because it would be the most efficient route. And so, these are the global solutions I have found now. You know, there has been times in my life that I have felt unworthy of love. There was a time where I was like, how can I even love anyone if I, unless they have like some next level faith in me or something, or I have some next level faith in the other. But the nature of my mind, I don't know yet, or I haven't experienced that to that capacity. I mean, not completely. I'm trying to say, a human being may not love themselves sometimes, or they may love themselves sometimes. But in the moments that I realize I cannot love myself, or I just felt like there's nothing really there to love, I'm just a being happening. I mean, sure, love. That doesn't mean I don't feel good in all this. I love being, here to do what I can. Because why else am I here? Why else has this world, brought awakened me here? But I'm someone who, I think many moments in my life where I could have destroyed myself, I don't know why. I think it was just some part of my mind that was like, okay, you can't love yourself. You don't know how to love others even. Love your species, though. And suddenly it was like, whoa, I can love the future. Love your future. It is your birthright. Enter it. It is your birthright. The future's even waiting for you. You don't know. You might think that there's no meaning to you based on your past analysis. But the future is waiting for you. It waits for all of us. And it's waiting for all of us to bring it here. Sorry guys, this was on mute. Forgive me. I have no idea how long it's been on mute. Shit. I just ended the episode and I realized it was on mute. Can somebody let me know really quickly, like how many minutes I was on mute, so I get a sense of like. I think I finished saying the global solution, right? Oh, like 2 minutes. Oh, blessings. So what was the last thing people heard? If you can share. Can you share? Somebody in the chat section is helping me out. Can you share what the last thing is? I mean, I could just pause the whole thing and go back. But did I complete the global solution? I shared the global solution, right? Okay. Anyways, guys, what I think I shared it. I shared the complete. If it's 2 minutes, yeah, 100% I shared it. So, anyways, all I was saying was, that this world. This is how I ended it. Actually, I'll just repeat what I said beforehand. I said that. When I have wondered about why beings are here, in many lectures I've said it, but the idea is to go forth. Wherever you are, whatever you are, wherever you will appear, whatever reality you perceive yourself, in whatever universal sector your attention comes, whatever world. Let's say you were teleported somewhere, and it was a completely different civilization on a different planet and different all of this, right? This is the beautiful thing about this world. In the name of the most advanced, it is going forth. That's the command. We interpret it as change, but it's going forth. Because once you get rid of fear, only advancement is left. Because sometimes your fear convinces you of your unworthiness. I was like, I'm in my youth like this introverted, shy kid, where in my talks I say I felt like I was in some sort of karmic exile, and imagine having a twin brother and everybody was welcoming him, appreciating his presence, and I felt like, oh my God, what am I, like the defective twin, But little did I realize, later on I realized my twin brother's soul was giving me a great blessing. And his will was acting actually as the older brother when I was younger. My twin brother has saved me, saved my life in this lifetime. All these talks, without him, I don't even know who I'd be. But what I realized, or pretty much what I'm just sharing with you, that karmic exile was me not trusting reality. That's why. And the fear made me not trust myself. That means, imagine you can't even trust yourself, and you don't even trust the world. Because if you can't trust yourself, you can't even trust your own performance in the world, right? When I come to give these lectures, in my mind, I have to already be at the destination, and then I have confidence to talk about it. I know where I'm taking it, where I'm piloting to, But if you don't know where you're piloting to, then you'll be like, oh my God, go left, go right, where am I going? Guys, I just read the comments of the chat section. One day you'll realize all the cruelty and viciousness and what you have interpreted as evil and suffering that others have brought you or whatnot. It's not evil. This is what I'm realizing. Evil is not evil. Evil is a rationality that because it's a messed up world, it's okay to be messed up that way. Right? Because others are doing it, it's okay. but in actuality, sure, like, right now the most evilest people on the planet, they're freaking babies compared to the evil people back in the day. They were like, we were savage animals, right? What's more evil than an animal killing another animal, right? That's like vicious, right? Now the evil has gone into the level of mind, right? But the evil is backfiring ignorance, I find. Why? Because it takes so long to build, for something beautiful to develop. It takes a long time for a flower to grow and a tree to grow, but it takes 1 second to cut it down. That's the ignorance of evil. You are breaking something that's unnecessary. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes some beings may think they're evil. It's not evil. You're just doing the unnecessary. You're not evil. Your action may be, right? It's not. I'm even saying that behind the scenes of your presence, you're neither good and bad. You're an awareness to both, and that's why you can have good actions and bad actions. Do both of them. So, anyways, what can my heart say before this journey I'm going on? If the viewers say, Mr. Within, did you get tired in giving all these, in your effort? I would say, tired, sure, but the tiredness wasn't important. It's the future. The future is so important to me that this might sound savage, but I'm willing to sacrifice myself even for it. Why? Because why else are we all here? Why are people making money? Sure, you survived for 100 years, but why else? Is it just for an individual? Everybody is passing down their work to the future generations. Their efforts to their future generations. It's just the ignorance is they're just passing it like people care for their kids, their grandkids, and then they're like, I'm not going to be alive for after that. But that's the error. You should be caring for your infinite, like in thinking in the future, great to the power of infinity, grandchildren. You should be caring for that world here now. You should hear them. I sometimes see and hear, in my inner realms, I feel I'm being, sorry, not here, but I feel many times, and it sometimes, like, it's a very, very profound experience for me, many times, that I feel right now, all the unborn children of humanity, all the unborn beings that are to come, they're watching us now, they're waiting and watching. And they're waiting to see how much basic decency there is to authorize it for them. The past lives for the future. And when it gets to the future, only thing is left is to live for the past. Because the future is not in time. We're not headed for a reality in time. We're actually, just like religion gives a clue. Everything started from God, an inconceivable position. And everything returns to God, an inconceivable position. As if this beautiful world and reality is like somebody opening up their pencil case, using the pencils and whatever to do their work. And then at the end, all manifestation goes back to the inconceivable. And you remember before your memory. Before your universal memory even. Which means that you're not even a universal excuse me, which means I think my voice suddenly went lower tone. Oh dear being. Oh dear humanity, all that Mr. Within is saying is live for yourself. Consciously live for yourself now. consciously, but realize that self is the greatness of the potential of everybody. This is why the moment I realize everybody has a future potential, and because they have a future potential, your past cannot have the final say. Do not be fooled by your own past, or what you think your past is, when your future awaits. In case, if it's a long time before I return to these lectures, and whatever, even if I can't finish the 10,000 talks in this lifetime, the point, the 10,000 talks are just for the betterment of mankind. If our species advances, I was victorious before I could be defeated. Thank you for listening. Excuse me, not just I. We were all victorious. If we get there, I don't want to say we got to work hard and get there, but our hearts know where they're intended for, where they belong. And if you even perceived your body as a separate entity, and your mind is a separate entity, I don't think anyone's ever said this statement before, but your body and mind can also learn from your soul. Your soul is not human, it is its potential. Rise, mankind, rise. You see, I'll say this and I'll end off. There is no smart and stupid people on this planet. Maybe if you zoom in one specific thing, sure, people can be smart and stupid in thousands of things. Who was it? Einstein. He said, you judge a bird by its ability to swim. You judge a fish by its ability to fly, and the fish is gonna think it's stupid its whole life. So it's not really smart or stupid people. It's actually beings that have been in, just like a garden has multiple flowers. Okay? Not everybody has to be the frickin' same flower. That's like cloning everything, which is impure. In the outer realms, the intent is not oneness. It's advancement. In the inner realms, sure, you're one before you could be two. You are one before duality. You're observing. Anyways. So. In the name of the most advanced, let the species realize its advancement. That's it. It is now time for humanity to live for everything. Thank you for listening. Much blessings and namaste. Rise, mankind, rise.